Crows asleep amidst the trees. Bats all are swaying in the breeze. But one so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths. For your dolly Polly sleep has flown, don't dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold, he comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. House turned in as daylight dies. But when so light lunches wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths, my dear Dolly.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our Monday night's live discussion. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a fab weekend. We're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, Leicester. And of course, we're sponsored by Sims Vintage Antiques in Whittemore and near Stratford. So, good evening to everyone. Tonight we're going to be discussing spirit guides. So, do you believe in them? Do you have any? Of course, we want all your thoughts, comments, ideas, suggestions, anything like that, all in the comments below. Neil can see all your comments. He's going to be putting them up on the screen. And yeah, just let us know your thoughts. Because it's always an interesting subject, this one. And lots of people always have very different thoughts, don't they, Neil?
They do. So we'll start with you, Jane.
Well, there's only two of them, so it's got to be one of us.
It's got to be you. So, I'll start with me then, shall I? I always thought you had one spirit guide. I don't know why. I don't know where I got it from, but that's what I always thought. But since we've been doing the centre, you can have more than one, can't you?
Yeah. I know I have got lots. I've met.
Well, you're just greedy, ain't you?
Well, I think it's a way of the spirit world, how they come to teach us, and of course everybody's experience is going to be different. But I know I have a spirit. I've got lots of spirit guides. I've got an old crone lady, and I call her the old crone because that's how she wants to be referred to, and she looks after my knowledge and wisdom. I've got a Hindu lady. She looks after my love and compassion. I've got an Indian warrior. He looks after my strength and integrity. And there are a few others. And years ago, when I was sitting in circle, a few times they did have spiritual artists coming to the church. And a couple of nights we actually did this. She did the spiritualist art, and she drew some of our spirit guides. And I've got
it. It just so happens.
Just so happens, here's one that was done earlier. No, so this is the oh, let me see if I can get it. Why can't we see it?
It's the oh, that's it. That's it.
So he's my Indian warrior. So this has been drawn by somebody else. This was done by a psychic artist who came to our circle, and she drew one of our spirit guides. And this was this is my Indian one that he wrote that she picked up, and she drew him. Cool. So I've got another one here. This lady, That's only part of
That's
a
it.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that lady is another one of my spirit guides.
Yeah.
She's around me a lot.
Cool.
I have got another one, but I can't
Yeah.
find that picture. It must be in another folder somewhere. And that's actually of a nun.
Okay. What on earth is a nun
Yeah,
trying to guide
that's a
you
dirty
for?
habit. Well, I've none of that.
Anyway, let's put a couple of comments up. Kevin says, I've been told I have a monk-like figure following me and protecting me.
Yeah, more than likely.
Sarah says, I would like to think I have one, but they've not made themselves known to me yet.
Yeah, and it does take a lot of practice and spirit. I call it spiritual commitment. You know, you've got to put the time in. You've got to do the meditation, and they won't always come to you until you're ready to sort of accept them, to work with them, to acknowledge them. They don't want to come to you and then you're frightened and you're afraid, and you know you've seen a ghost and this, that, and the other, and it's been traumatic for you. Because that just won't happen. That's not how they work.
Okay, another comment from Kevin. He says, how do spirit guides choose us?
I feel that they're not necessarily, they don't choose us. I feel that there is a greater power there, and that they will be sort of allocated to you to help you through your life and through your different things. And this is one of the things that I feel that, you know, we reincarnate so many times. And when we've got enough knowledge and understanding and, you know, we've sort of aligned to the spirit world and we can help others, I then do believe that we then go on to be other people's spirit guides. Unless you're going on to other different things like healing or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, here's a comment from Von. Von says, I believe I do have guides and they help when I ask for help, but I never see them. I seem to sense who they are, like an airman, Indian, old lady. I do a lot of meditation, but still not seeing them. So will they just show themselves when the time's right or when you're ready then?
Yeah, I mean, mine didn't sort of show themselves all to me all at the same time. You know, it's took a few years for them to actually show themselves, and a lot of mine was mainly in meditation. You know, where you sort of go and you do the meditation where you sit on the park bench, or you know, there's another thing, you meet somebody on the bridge or whatever, and it's through those meditations as well.
I actually saw, first time I saw mine was when I was doing Reiki, when I was being tuned into Reiki too. And I saw this Native American. There tend to be a lot of Native American Indians, doesn't there?
Yeah.
As guides.
Yeah.
But I saw this guy, and he come towards me, and he told me his name and everything. And I researched his name and actually found him.
Yeah.
So
you've got a picture of him, haven't you?
Yes, and he was from the Crow tribe. And I remember one night we were doing some live feed at the centre, weren't we, Jane?
Yeah, we were.
And he came.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
So that was all interesting.
Yes, because he was telling you about the centre, wasn't he? If I vaguely remember. I mean, it's a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
But he did come through, didn't he? And he said that he would be helping you with the centre, and you're on the right path, and all that sort of thing, didn't he?
Yeah, and he said we're going to get, we haven't got it yet, but we're going to get a special item. But he wouldn't say what it is. But I think he says as soon as we know what it is, as soon as we see it, we'll know.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it. I haven't found it, come across it yet. Kevin says, how do spirit guides protect you?
Well, they will be around you all the time, and they will be putting things in place and sort of planning things long term and helping you make decisions, bringing things to the forefront. I mean, it's things like if you're searching for answers for things, or you're asking for things, the answer may not just pop straight into your head, but it could be in the title of a headline in a newspaper. You'll pick that newspaper up and you'll see it and you'll say, oh, that's the answer. Or it'll be on the next record that's on the radio, or it will be they will bring these messages to you in ways that you may not expect, you know, somebody could be shouting in the street or something like that. But as for protection, they will be around you and just guarding you and just looking out for you, really. You know, there's several ways you can do, you know, there's also the personal responsibility. You've also got to be responsible for your own actions and your own, you know, decisions and choices. And there's always that free will that's there. And they could be all around you, helping you with everything. But if you choose to do something completely in a different direction, then they've got to go with that. So, you know, you've got that free will there as well.
So when they give you messages, it's probably not direct. They'll be, like you said, that it could be a headline in a newspaper.
Yeah.
So as Kevin just says, subconscious messages then.
Well, they're not. I mean, sometimes they can be, you know, they can be quite blatant and in your face. But it's up to us if they can put messages right in front of you. But if we don't see them,
you don't take any notice.
That sometimes we don't see everything that's around us because we're so busy. We're doing everything that we normally do, that this sort of thing gets shut out. But I do think all these spirit guides and everything, I do think this is one of the reasons why there is increased activity in people's homes in the lockdown. I think a lot of family and spirit guides would have come around people to help them get through that difficult time. Yeah.
Okay, another comment from Kevin. He says, can spirit guides be past family?
I was always taught, and through other avenues, as in reading books and things like that, spirit guides are generally not family because they're sort of more like an independent friend, if you like, helping you. Family will always be around you as well. You know, you'll always have your family spirits around you as well. Generally, I haven't met any of my spirit guides that have been. Oh no, actually, no, that isn't. Yeah, I'll tell you this because I have told you before. Years ago, when I was about 16 and I first went to the Spiritualist Church in Leicester, I was sitting there and one of the mediums came up to me and he says, "There's a young man by your side, and I feel he is a spirit guide." I said, "Okay, fair enough." And he said his name is Bobby Brown. Okay, so then. Only a few years ago, when I was doing my family tree, I actually found him and all the details fit. His name was Robert Brown, and all the information fit. He died when he was a young man, this, that and the other. Now, he did say at the time he thought he was my spirit guide, and he is obviously distant family. So, although most of them aren't family, I mean, I'm not sure about this because he thought it was family. So it may be that he was a spirit guide, but it may be that he was just looking after me. So
they don't tend to be.
No, they don't, because you need that independence. You need that independent sort of friend person who's going to help you with, you know, in the right way.
So you know when if you have past lives, do you think, I know this is all hypothetical, do you think you have the same spirit guides in every life?
No, I don't think you do, because we come back to learn the lessons, and if we've learned lessons in a previous life and then we've got to come back and learn more lessons, they're going to be different lessons. It's going to be a different life, and you will have different spirit guides to help you get through that sort of life and those particular lessons.
Okay. Okay, Kevin again. He says, we have lots of activity at home over the last 4 months. Doors closing, footsteps on stairs. Always happens here when energy is low due to problems. Nothing nasty, but heightened activity.
Yeah, and that could well be family coming around you to help you, particularly if the energy is low. One of the first things I always say is call out to them. You know, if you're in there on your own and you feel that there's something going on, or you feel a presence around you, call out to them. If they're family, acknowledge them, because they're probably just trying to get your attention to say, look, we're here, we're looking after you, don't worry, you know, we're trying our best to get you through this. And if you call out to them, acknowledge that they're there, and you just show a gratitude that they're there helping you, you will find that the activity dies down.
Okay, another comment from Von. I am becoming more aware of different signs, like Jane says. There seems to be triggers that we noticed. I would have ignored them. Now I take more notice and keep it in mind. Something happens and I can think that sign was what was warning or helping me.
Yeah, there will be lots of things all around us that we just lose. We've lost the ability to tune in to these vibrations and these energies over the decades, because of, you know, we've always been taught that we're singular, we're not connected, we're not, you know, the church is right, there's God and there's the devil, and, you know, and we've lost our sort of connection with Mother Earth and all the energies around us, where previously we could have just tuned into all this stuff quite easily.
Yeah. Excuse me. Kevin says, my monk spirit guide isn't family for sure.
Yeah.
And he says, great advice, Jane, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, perhaps he's come to help you with your mead and your homebrew. Monks were good for that, weren't they?
Now you mentioned the devil there, Jane. So we've got no comments at the minute. We've actually just been invited onto the Demonology UK podcast, haven't we?
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
So are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, well, I'm open to any sort of debate and conversation, you know, and as usual, all we will do is just say what our opinions are based on our own experiences and you know, the knowledge that we have.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And so that's coming on December the 4th, which is a Friday night. Kevin says, got to see you soon at Hinckley, guys.
Yeah, definitely have to come up.
Yeah, come up. There's no
and there's
place
so many
like
fantastic things planned for next year. I just, you know, it's just going to be fantastic to get back up there.
Yeah. Then he says, homebrew on there. Okay, Amy says, I would love to meet my spirit guides.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for people like Amy then, Jane, who, and I think it was Sarah, says that they'd like to meet their spirit guides?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a case of actually, it is a case of sitting and sort of meditating. If you find that you can't meditate straight away, just sit for like 5 minutes, just sit in your own energy and peace and quiet, and find that stillness, and just start there. Then go. I mean, there's loads of videos. I mean, we were doing the meditation classes up at the centre, and hopefully we'll do them again next year. But there's plenty of meditation classes on YouTube that you can follow, Meet My Spirit Guide and all that sort of thing. So, you know, you could follow those. But if you can, find yourself a space of at least 15, 20 minutes minimum, and put one of these things on and just sit and really try and meditate. And it may not happen the first time. It may not happen for the first month, but you've got to keep practicing at it. You've got to keep at it. You've got to put in that spiritual commitment that it's what you want. Keep sending out the thought, put in the discipline. You know, you've got to be able to close your mind off completely, stop all your thoughts coming in, stop all your thoughts going out. And a lot of people struggle with that. I know I did. For the first 3 months or so, I really couldn't get it. But in the end, it just dropped into place, and now I can just do it at the drop of a hat. So you just got to be able to stop your mind and have that clear space for spirit to come in. And once you start and once you get doing it, you almost become addicted to it, because you want that fix of that peace and that tranquility and that just that self-preservation and everything else for yourself.
I see our Evan's watching tonight. He can't be at work.
Oh, bless him. Hi, Evan.
Amy says, I can't keep my mouth shut for 5 minutes. I'm guessing that's Amy. It sounds like Amy's sort of comment.
Yeah. But that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah. Bloss says, could do with all your positive thoughts to help with Jessica. Yeah. Bless her, Jessica's not very well at the minute.
Oh, bless
The
her.
little baby.
Oh.
Sarah says, do you think they come through at night when you are in deep sleep stage?
Not necessarily, but that can be one of the first steps where they do come through when you're in sleep, because you're not sort of prohibited to sort of taking any thoughts in as such, because your mind's completely relaxed. There's no barriers there. There's no obstacles for spirit to get through. And when you're asleep, your mind's completely sort of relaxed, and spirit can quite easily come through into your dreams for the first sort of connection. So if you do find that, try and remember what they look like, because the human brain cannot make up faces. And if you see somebody, remember that, and then go into meditation and ask to meet that spirit guide. Ask to see that person.
Yeah. This has just come up as Haunted Antiques. Sorry, I don't know which Haunted Antiques it is. I've met my owl twice.
That's probably, is that Amy? She's into owls, isn't she? But if it's not Amy, put your name next to it, and we'll
I think
know
it might be Jacqueline, but I'm not sure. And Bloss says she has arthritis.
Bless.
Little girl's got arthritis quite bad.
Oh.
Okay, while we're waiting for some more comments, it's Amy. We will do an unselfish plug. The Higgy Pop Awards, the voting ends this week. So if you haven't voted yet, have a look down the list and vote for who you think deserves of the awards. We've actually got 3 shows and the live discussion category.
Yeah.
There's ours, Haunted Connections.
Yeah.
I think, and then you got Jane and Amy for the Confession of the Paranormal Investigators. So Jane's in 2. That's a bit greedy, isn't it?
Yeah, but what a dilemma when you've only got 1 vote.
I know. And also we got John and Orange for the Booze and Booze.
Yeah.
So,
we've got your book as well.
Yeah, we've got my book as well, and we've also got the Centre for the Paranormal Hotspot. So,
yeah,
if you want to vote for us, thank you very much. If you don't want to vote for us, thank you very much anyway. We're not vote for the best. That's all it is. It's just an honour for us to be nominated. To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not into some of the games that some people are doing that I've seen this week and last week, but hey, we've got some more comments. Pamela says, one of my guys came through and it was a yellow-green cat. Odd.
Yeah, maybe it was the colours that they were bringing to your attention. And then, you see, there's lots of ways that they can work out. They can bring through pictures and symbols and things like that. It may not be your spirit guide as such that you see in the face, but it could be that guide bringing through, those colours to you. I mean, your yellow, that could symbolise your solar plexus, and your green could be your heart. Looking at your chakras, maybe you need to work on those areas there. And just put it, if you love cats, it's probably just put it in the form of a cat, so it's more familiar and friendly to you. So you could get it a bit more of an understanding from that. They can just bring forward things like that. And, or maybe the yellow and green could be an answer to a question or something that you've been thinking about. So, it's not just... You have to be in a position where you can have an open mind and sort of look at some of these answers or pictures and images and just see how, if they can be an answer to perhaps something or a question that you've been asking for.
Yeah, I've not actually thought about that, I must admit. Okay, some more comments. Bloss says might have voted. Von says, might have voted already. I'm taking this as Amy again. And don't forget to send Amy your confessions. The best will go into a book.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, there is going to be a confessions book coming next year. Sarah says, I wonder who deserves a Hickey Pop Award. Yes, my vote has been made.
Cool.
Pamela says, it was a khaki colour and I've always been looking at World War II items. So that sort of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never actually thought about that, you know.
Because sometimes I could, you know, because one of my biggest things that I do is I always go back to spirit and ask them, you know, and it's not always in meditation. Sometimes it's just sitting in my own energy in the peace and quiet. And I go back to spirit and I connect with the spirit world and I ask questions. I ask, you know, how we can help the center. I ask how I can help different people. And I ask for answers to things and what I can do and stuff like that. And the answers always come back and spirit never ever let me down. And if you are feeling a bit low or you're feeling a bit like you want to have the answer, sometimes it will just come in the form of a picture of a book. And I know then I've got to go and search some titles, search for some books. And I know then as soon as I see the right book, I know I know that's the one and that's the one I've got to buy it. So they do work in different ways. You know, they'll show me a book, I'll go and look for a book, but I automatically know when I found the right book. And that's the sort of help that you can get. But just go back and ask them for the help, ask them for answers, because they will always be there to help you.
So can anyone do that? I know you're a medium. I was going to say you're the medium, but I suppose there might be one or two more. So you're a medium. Can anyone just ask?
Yes, but it might, again, if you've not got that sort of connection or you're not used to doing it, you might find that it takes a bit of practice the first time, because you've got to build that connection. You've got to build that, you know, and you've got to get in touch with, you've got to open up, if you like, that communication line with spirit. I can do it fairly quickly now because I've been doing it for such a long time, and I can, you know, I've got that connection. But it might, if you're not used to working with spirit and you're fairly new to it, it might just take some time. But again, it's self-discipline. You can't just sort of ask for the world and it's going to fall in your lap. You've got to put something in order for them to get, you know, in order for you to get something back out. And you know, you've got to have that commitment and you've got to have that discipline and you've got to work at it. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more comments. Amy says, I wish I had a small fraction of what Jane can do.
Oh, bless. But it has took me many, many years of practice and work and dedication and, like I say, discipline and everything else. And Neil will know that because I've been working through it for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. And this is our bloss. You can help the centre by putting another handrail up. You might have heard a chuckle from my side then. Julia had a chuckle then, Bloss.
I like it.
Oh, bless.
Julie says, I like it, Bloss. I'll see what I can do. If I don't do it now, she's going to hit me with a stick. Von says, I have asked for help with friends or if I've lost something. I haven't got a verbal answer, but for some reason I get like fresh ideas that suddenly come, and it usually is right.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Particularly with the crafting ideas, the ideas from a witch's workshop. That most of them come from spirit.
Yeah. So do you think is that how all mediums would work then?
No, because everybody works differently and everybody's on a different path.
Yeah.
You know, some people can just be clairaudient, some people just hear spirit, some people can just be clairsentient, some people can just, you know, just sense spirit around them and just everybody's different. And but the more and more you do it and the more and more you practice, and you know, and you've got to do it in a respectful way as well, the more you will get out of it. But it's not just going to happen in 5 minutes, you know, or even perhaps 5 months.
Yeah.
It could even take 5 years. But once you put that commitment and that stake in the ground, and you know you're on the right path, then, you know, because some people tend to find that they work better with, say, pendulums, or they work better with a crystal ball or whatever. It's, you know, everybody's completely different, and we'll work with different tools, different ideas, and different vibrations, different frequencies.
Yeah. So we're deviating again a bit here. I'm just interested. So were you guided? Do you think you were guided into the way you do things?
Oh, definitely. You know, I've always been able to see and hear, feel spirit, sense spirit, see them ever since being a small child, and you know, I've grown up with it. But I knew when it was the right time for me to really get on the path and work at it, because I was almost compelled to do it. The voices were coming in so much saying, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. And, you know, you need to do this, you need to do this. This is, you've got to find this path. And as soon as I got on it, I knew it was the right way of life for me. Yeah. And I've never looked back.
Yeah, well then, Jane, you got a fan here with Bloss.
Oh, bless her.
Says Jane is amazing.
Oh, I love you too, Bloss.
Well, we all think Jane's amazing. Fawn says, I think I'm getting more sensitive, but it has taken a lot of time learning, understanding, and focusing, which is what you've just been saying, isn't it, Jane?
Yeah.
It just takes time and dedication. What's that? The old TV show, at Roy Castle? Is it Record Breakers, something? You need dedication.
Yeah. I used to love Roy Castle.
Very talented man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there's a comment from Neil or Orange. Jane's got more knowledge than anyone I've ever met in the field today.
Oh, bless. Oh, thank you, Neil.
It's a Jane appreciation.
I don't know about what I don't know about the paranormal field would fill a book.
Sounds like it's the Jane appreciation night tonight.
Oh. But I do read lots of books, actually.
Yeah, saves me reading them. And Bloss says, think I would like to go on the dowsing rods. Actually,
I have actually seen in the HAPRC amazing gift shop that you can actually buy dowsing rods for £17. And they would be, anybody, Bloss's family's listening, they would be a fantastic present for her.
And plus, it's a little plug there that Julie's already told me I've got to plug the shop. Plus, if you're a member, you get 10% off as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, those sort of things are going to be great presents.
£1.70 off that then, or the plus all Bloss's grandkids are members as well. So
yeah, I mean, forget all the smellies and the usual slippers and scarves and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Have a look at in the paranormal field, and have a look at in the HAPRC shop. You're going to find some fantastic things if you know people in the paranormal who've got an interest in this.
Yeah, there's so much. Julie's putting more pictures on now. Actually, there's so much stuff that we're trying to sell. The reason there's a big push now is because obviously we're shut because the lockdown. We can't open, so we're trying to generate income that way.
Yeah.
Then
has Julie got any pendulums on there?
You got any pendulums, Julie?
Yes.
Yes, she's got pendulums.
Yeah, see, fantastic pendulums and dowsing rods. Great starter kit there.
Yeah, perfect for Christmas presents. Bloss says she agrees with Orange about your knowledge.
Oh, thank you.
This is why Jane gets paid the mega bucks, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's why Neil pays me the big bucks.
That always brings a laugh, doesn't it? Sarah says you should give them the try, Bloss. I've got some good results. Well, next time you come up to the centre when we can, Bloss, have a go, because I've got loads of mine up there.
Yeah, and of course, the more and more you use them, it's a bit like tarot cards. the more you use them and the more they're charged with your own energy, the better results you will get.
Yeah, we found that with mine, haven't we, Jane?
Yeah.
No, mine worked fantastic for me, but when somebody else tries them, they don't tend to work so well.
No, but you've been using yours for a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah. Amy says that's because she reads the words and not just looks at the pictures.
Yeah, and I can actually read big words, Amy.
And she knows what these big words mean. Pamela says, I like talking about it with you as it spurs me on to meditate more as life gets in the way. But life gets in the way.
It does.
Yeah. You just need to put time, have your own time, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah says, I'm finding more and more as this virus continues, I want to shut myself away and be alone. So maybe now is the time I should focus more on my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Definitely, Sarah.
Yeah. Go into meditation, ask them what your spiritual path is, help them to get you on that spiritual path. Ask them to show you the way and what you need to do in order to be on the right path for you.
Yeah. And Bloss says, I've bought lots off you and going to come and collect my latest purchase soon. Yes, Bloss has bought more things. Yeah, but you want some dowsing rods for Christmas, don't you, Bloss?
And they've got sparkly angles as well, haven't they? And they've got sparkly handles.
Oh, I don't know. Have they got sparkly handles? No, they've not got sparkly handles.
No. Must have just been when I seen the picture.
That must have been my sparkle reflecting on them. Don't look at me like that, you. Fair enough, Jane laughing her head off at me.
Oh.
Gary says, yours are brilliant. They work great for me and Donnie. I think he's on about dowsing rods. Amy says, what you're trying to say, Packer? You like pictures, Amy. We know you like pictures. Bloss says, will do if you put a rail up. You left me to get downstairs on my own. Oh, yeah, I apologise about that, Bloss. Last time Bloss came up the centre, a granddaughter went to bring the car round, and I was going to help Bloss get down the stairs. But in the meantime, some visitors came, so I was upstairs, so Bloss had to get down on her own.
Oh, bless her. So
I do feel bad about that, but I will get a handrail up for you. Is that what you're calling it these days, Neil? I don't know what she's on about there. Imagine it's Amy again.
Something rude now, Amy.
Probably. Julie just says probably something rude if it's Amy. So, any more comments? Yeah, Gary says, yes, Donnie was talking to Robert with yours in the main room. That's good then. I do like the dowsing rods, I must admit. And Bloss says, so I should feel bad. Yeah, I do like the dowsing rods.
See, just with going back to the spirit guides, I do feel that the spirit guides are allocated to you at the same time that your soul goes into your body. Mm-hmm. And I'm reading up on this. I've read quite a few things, and the theory is that your soul goes into your body as soon as your heart starts beating, which is about 5-6 weeks into pregnancy. Mm-hmm. So that's when your soul, because you can't have your soul really without your heart. I mean, we've talked about this lots of times, that your heart is such a massive organ, and it does so much. It's not just pumping your blood around your body. There's just so much other stuff that going on with that as well. And I do believe that your soul goes into your body as soon as your heart starts beating, and you have that consciousness, and when I say consciousness, I mean that sort of spiritual connection, not that the baby's awake and conscious with,
Yeah.
you know, it's in a sack and everything else. And your spirit guides are sort of given to you at the same time, and
Yeah.
so they're there to sort of help and guide you.
So they get allocated then?
That's my understanding, because
In
for the
layman's
path that you're on,
terms.
for the lessons that you need to learn, you know, you're going to have, but there's not a definitive amount of spirit guides that you go, you know, there's not a set number. You
No.
could be given, say, 20 spirit guides to help you through different things. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, I believe you sort of get a core, you know, of people there to help you when your soul first goes in, because your soul does need help from those spirit guides. So later on in life, when you're going through different things or you know, different circumstances, I do believe that you can have just sort of temporary people as such coming in to help.
It's interesting, isn't it? This is Amy again. Do you think that through life you get guides that choose you when you might need them in life?
Do you think that through life you get guides that choose you when you might? See, there's the other, when you say choose you, I think when we ask for help, I think the spirit world will allocate their best person to come and help us. I think it's more the other way round, that when we ask for help or we need help, spirit guides can go back to the spirit world and say, you know, look, we need some extra help here. We need somebody, you know, perhaps who specialises in this, and somebody will come and help.
Okay, very similar from Von. Do you think the guides choose to who they go to?
No, same sort of thing. You know, because if it's your path, just say, for instance, you know, it's your path to be, it's just take a, someone's quite, if it's your path to say be the president of the United States, right, you're going to need help.
That's very topical at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're going to need help to sort of get through all that. And you know, you've got this ambitions, and even your spirit guides will help nurture your ambitions and everything else in your path to you know, on that road. And even, you know, when you get there, during the presidency, they say there for 4 years, you might need a lot more extra help and support and guidance and everything else, not only spiritually but emotionally, physically, and everything else like that. So in that 4-year block, you're going to need so much more help because of all the pressure and stress and, you know, the coronavirus that you're immune to and stuff like that. So, you know, that's just a snapshot, isn't it? But even after, say, when you go out of your presidency finishes and you come out of the White House and you try and return back to normal life, that's going to be a whole new ball game. So all those other guides will sort of perhaps come away because they're not needed, but you're going to need people for more adjustment and you know, you've gone from a really stressful environment down to perhaps a very quiet family environment, and you're going to need people to help you adjust to that and everything else. And you'll still have your core of spirit guides, but there will be other people there helping you emotionally and everything else to come to terms with your new life.
Blas says, can I have a donkey or a dog, because she likes donkeys and dogs for her spirit guides. This is an interesting one from Sarah. What happens to your spirit guides when you die?
Well, they will all just go back to the spirit world, and you know there'll be certain things that, you know, there'll be certain perhaps different jobs. You may then after a while come back and be you'll come back and be a spirit guide for somebody else to help somebody else through their life, or you could go on to perhaps be a healer, or you know, you could perhaps go through ascension and do all sorts of things. So, you know, there's lots of different things that can be done, different spirit guides, but they will go back to the spirit world.
Do you
You know,
think?
our soul will go back to the spirit world, and they will come with us because their
Do you
job is done.
Yeah. Do you think when you die, you get to choose what you do?
No,
No.
not necessarily, because there's no point you going on to be a healer if you've got no experience of, say, somebody who's terminally ill or something like that. You know, that you've got no experience of somebody who's gone through a really difficult time. You know, if you've had a really easy life, you know, say that with lots of money, everything's been paid for you, everything's been bought for you, all your courses have been paid, your university's been paid, you've had a fantastic life, your parents buy your car, buy your house, so you've got no stresses, you've got no grief, you've got no nothing. And you haven't really had a lot of experience dealing with hardship, sadness, death, you know, all that sort of thing, illness. And so you've got to go back and learn lots more lessons.
Well, that's a shame, because I want to haunt people.
Well, you know, if that's your choice, you could, you know, maybe you can opt out and just say, actually, I don't want to be anybody's spirit guide. I want to go back to the HAPRC, be stuffed in the corner and stay there for eternity.
Yeah.
Because that's our plan, isn't it, for you?
Yeah.
We're going to stuff you and put you in the corner, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about that one. Gary says, I need all the help I can get on with Steph. You'll get a clout, you will.
It might more be the other way round, actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking Steph's the one with the help. This is from Bloss. Bloss says, not in a good place. Almost 3 years since my son passed.
Oh, bless.
Oh, sorry to hear that,
well, he
Bloss.
will be around you, Bloss. He will be with you. Talk to him. Have a conversation with him. Just tell him how much you love him, how much you miss him, and just show him that you care, and you know, have them just let him be around you, and have just remember all the fond stuff.
Steph says, ha ha, very funny. Think it might be the other way round. I think we all agree with you there, Steph. Pamela says, sorry, I'm back. Hedgehogs in the garden sending the dog mad.
Oh.
Okay, here's one from Amy. Would a spirit guide turn the back on you if you did wrong?
No. No, because you've got free will. And you've got, how do you define wrong? You know, do you define wrong by it not being their choice, but because it's your choice and you feel it's right for you, you know, that doesn't make it wrong. I mean, if you're talking about things like really wrong, like murder and stuff like that, then, you know, you've got to deal with your own conscience, and you've got to, you know, that is your choice, but your punishment would be reflected in the way that, you know, you go to prison on this earth, you know, in this lifetime.
Yeah. Okay. Bloss says, about me being stuffed in the centre next to Hannah.
We could sit her on your shoulders.
You will flip and get haunted if you did that. Wrong comment. Sarah's got to go. She's got to take her hubby to work.
Oh, bless. Oh, we'll see you soon, Sarah. Thanks for joining us.
So, any more comments? I had a thought the other day. Nothing to do with spirit guides. But you know how my brain works. It jumps from one thing to another. K2s and EMF meters.
Yep.
Possibly one of the most common piece of equipment in the field, yeah?
Yep.
Because say the spirits give off electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
So why don't they give off electromagnetic field that the K2 could pick up on when you're still alive? Because your spirit's in your body, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a different sort of vibration, isn't it? It's a different sort of frequency because you're connected to this vessel.
No, is that why they might work then? I was just trying to blow them out of the water.
One of the things I always think about, because your heart gives off its own electromagnetic field, you know, why doesn't it pick up the electromagnetic field around your heart?
Yeah.
Because that field can extend for 5 to 8 feet, and the only reason they've measured it at 8 feet is because that's as far as the instrument will go. You know, it may go further for all we know. So why doesn't it pick up the electromagnetic field in your heart? But saying that, you know, we have had, I think the K2 can be a fantastic piece of equipment if used correctly. And that is based on my experience and your experience when we were in that cottage in Wales.
Yeah.
When we had the ragdoll on one chair on one side of the room, the K2 on the other, and the Welshman was speaking to the ghosts in Welsh, and we had a fantastic session in there for several hours. And that session with the K2 just blew me away. And you know, a lot of people diss the K2, but when you've seen something like that, like we did, it was just amazing. So I do feel the K2 is a good piece of equipment if used in the right way.
Yeah, because you can push your energy out further, can't you? Because I'm going back when I did Reiki too.
Yeah.
When I was just relaxed, my teacher had dowsing rods, and she'd come towards me with the dowsing rods, and she said, the dowsing rods will cross when they reach my energy. And they crossed were about 1.5 foot away from me.
Yeah.
Right. And then she says, go back and sort of get into the zone for getting the Reiki energy in. Okay.
Yeah.
And we did the same experiment, and the dowsing rods must have crossed 15 feet away from me, because that's how far my energy went out. That's something we could try. That's an experiment to try, isn't it?
Well, I do that anyway. We can try that, but I do that anyway, because that's how you know, that's how I was sort of taught to do that. Because once I've opened up, like at the center, once I've opened up, I will push my energy out to cover the whole building, and that's how I connect with spirits in the building, because my energy will connect with their energy, and that's then when we get the communication. But I push my energy out to cover the whole building when I'm in there.
Okay, read a few more comments out. Amy says, I've got a great picture of Neil cuddling Hannah. I wasn't actually cuddling it. You asked me to hold it.
Did you have it by the neck? Arm's length.
Neil and thoughts, dangerous. I'm guessing that's Amy again. Gary said, saw something the other day. It said that it's possible it can pick up your heart. The K2.
Yeah.
Then John says had some great validation with the K2, but again can be misleading.
Yeah.
But I thought of a great experiment to try now.
Fantastic.
We'll keep that between ourselves though. Then Jacqueline says, oh no, this is Gary. Jane showed us in the circle our energy around us with the person next to us. Is that something you did in the circle, Jane?
Yeah.
And then Jacqueline says, laugh out loud, you were cuddling her. Then Amy says, because Amy was actually there that night, Neil was having an interview and he was asked to hold Anna. I was proper laughing at that. She was cracking up. Pamela says, I think it's odd when they wave the K2 about in the air.
Yeah, I think that's really to pick up things like, because it can pick up like your Wi-Fi streams and stuff like that. If you've got like your router from your whatever, if it's in a sort of a stream, then it can pick up the that sort of wave.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we used to do that when we were doing sweep, weren't we? When we used to first go into buildings doing things, we would be waving the K2 around, and if it did go off, we can then check that it's not near an electric cable or in that sort of Wi-Fi stream and stuff like that, so you're not picking up false information.
Yeah, all them years ago when we did investigations
all
in places.
Them years ago.
When we were younger.
When we were men whippersnappers.
When we were newbies.
When neither of us had wrinkles.
And then Pamela says emotion can make it light up. The K2, yeah, it can.
Yeah.
But any final comments? That's gone really quick again.
Wow, that has gone quick.
Right, we did have a guest lined up for tomorrow night, but he can't make it now. He's not very well, so shall we just wing it?
Who was our guest?
It was going to be Richard Case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's a medium, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not very well, so he can't make it. So if anyone's watching, fancy being our guest to be quizzed tomorrow night.
Interrogated.
Interrogated in our own unique way. And Amy says, send your confessions. So we're about up now. So how many weeks you got off now, Jane?
How many weeks? Up till Christmas.
How many more weeks holiday have I given you?
8 more weeks, I think.
8 more weeks holiday.
Yeah. Oh, it might be 7. I think it's 7, isn't it?
7.
Oh, hang on.
I don't know. Yeah, but you've got to get better afterwards, haven't you? You're not counting on your fingers, are you?
It's 8. It's a good job it's not more than I've had to. Yeah, I've only got 10 fingers, but it was 12 weeks treatment, so I was struggling. No, I've got 8 more weeks.
So how many weeks after that to get your system?
That should take me up to basically New Year. 8 weeks, I think, New Year. So I think they say sort of 2 to 3 months for things to get back completely normal, but we'll see. I'm very good at healing, so
yeah,
I'm hoping it's going to be a lot less than that.
But I'm sure you'll come to the centre if there's just the 2 of us.
Yeah, well, I am hoping to do a session before Christmas. I'm hoping to by the time I get there, and I'm sort of I'll have to perhaps do it at the end of the week. So I'm hoping to perhaps come up and do one of those new live feeds that we had the idea for. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds a good idea.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking, what? We're not telling you. Yeah. So we're about finished now then. So pop along to the shop. Julie's putting loads of new items on, and we're going to go up Wednesday, and take a picture of everything in the centre. So we want the cabinets empty.
Yeah.
So we can get nice new stuff in.
Yeah.
I'll just put Bloss's comment up. Bloss says, thanks guys, you made me feel better.
Oh, bless you. Yeah. I tell you what, coming on these shows and doing these live feeds and seeing everybody's comments and seeing all your really nice messages and everything out of sort of love and support, I can't tell you how much better it makes me feel and how motivated it makes me feel. And I'm so grateful to have such a lovely bunch of friends around me.
Oh, bless you. Gary says, hurry up back, Jane, we all miss you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, even me saying you've had too many holidays this year.
Yeah. Well, I've nearly had a year off, haven't I? So
yeah.
But we have been in lockdown anyway, so it's
yeah.
It's not been wasting time.
Don't make excuses. You have read lots of books, haven't
you? Yeah. Well, I just think where I was back in, or if you like, my knowledge and understanding back in February is not the same as what it is now. I have read so many books. Good. I've been working on stuff, practicing stuff. Yeah. And it's been it's all progression.
Good. Rocky just says I'm always late.
Who? Oh,
Rocky. Don't worry. Just once we finish, you can watch it all through later. And they're all saying great show. So that's it from us tonight. So if anyone wants to be our guest tomorrow night, send me a message and we'll bring you on. We'll just waffle on like we normally do.
Yeah.
And have a good day, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
You for messages. All your messages. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for interacting. And it's I've really enjoyed it. So so good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Yeah, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. Bye.
Was asleep